So often I'm asked about a timeline for an upgrade project, proton therapy upgrade. And the most effective way to answer that is to compare an upgrade project to a traditional new proton therapy center schedule. A new proton therapy schedule might be 1 year for design and engineering and permitting, 1 year for construction to get ready for equipment, and then another year, a third year, to install the equipment. And following that, there might be, say, 3 months of clinical commissioning before you can start treating patients. So you're really talking about 3 years nominally for a new proton therapy project. So an upgrade project has some different elements, and that is decommissioning the existing equipment and demolition of the existing building or areas of the building to make way for a new system. The two projects that I'm intimately aware of, MGH and MD Anderson PTC-1, they have slightly different schedules. At MGH, we replaced the equipment with the same vendor equipment, so it was a like exchange. At MD Anderson PTC-1, we are changing the existing equipment to a different vendor with a completely different footprint. In order to do the decommissioning, there's a lot of physics and engineering planning that goes into just how to take the system apart and pull it out of the building and dispose of the radioactive material. So that planning piece is, at MGH, was 3 months. At PTC-1, it's 3 months, just to plan out how to take apart the equipment. The actual decommissioning and taking apart the equipment might be 3 to 5 months. And it really depends on how much equipment we're taking apart, which pieces, if it's the whole thing or just some magnets, it really depends. And that impacts the time frame. And then the demolition depends. PTC-1 is much more extensive demolition. We have to make room for the new vendor at PTC-1. So really you're looking at 3 months for decommissioning planning, 3 to 5 months for decommissioning, a few months at least for demolition, and then reconstruction can be 10 to 12 months. And again, it depends on the scope and how far we're going with this upgrade project. You still have a year for installation approximately, and it depends on which vendor. And then there's the clinical commissioning at the end of that installation, just like a new project. There's a lot more front-end planning related to the upgrade projects. New project has a lot of upfront planning, but nothing like an upgrade.